How much would you pay to go viral every single time? Well, today I'm going to give you a method for free that will basically guarantee that. My name is Daniel and I make a full-time living off making content. It was literally my dream since I was a kid to be able to do this, and once I got there, it just kind of felt that I figured out a few things that no one really talks about. No one decides to come on here and tell their secrets on how they've made it successful, but I owe it to my 13-year-old self to at least help one, if not thousands of you, create your own dream. And if you use this method, it'll definitely guarantee you get at least 10 times more views than you're already getting. And that applies for if you're getting 100,000 views or if you're only getting 10 views. What am I talking about? Essentially, this is just copying viral content. Here's an example of what I mean. I saw a post that's like this one. I mean, it's not exactly this one because I think they've taken down the original one. It had like 400,000 likes at the time. So I took that, made a video around the whole concept and posted this. And as you can see, that has a shitload of views. I don't even remember how many views it has, but it has a lot and it made me quite a bit of money. It all seems very easy. Take a piece of viral content and make it your own. But it's really not that easy unless you know what you're doing. And after today's video, you'll know. So how do you do this? First, you need to find viral content. And unless you're scrolling for days, you won't see that many. But there are a few tricks you can do that will find content very easily. The first and probably the best way to do this is by starting with TikTok search. Simply all you have to do is ask ChatGPT for 15 keywords in your niche and then just search those keywords. You can then filter by a day, a month, or even about 6 months. I'd recommend after a while you don't use the 6 month search because you'll have seen the same content over and over and over again. And by searching with the smaller time frames, like 1 day to a week, you will get what's going viral now, and that's kind of what you need. Again, the same applies for YouTube search. Now, YouTube search is it's a bit shit these days. Probably shouldn't say that on YouTube, but it is. They've changed their whole algorithm and it just doesn't make sense, but it's still worth checking out. But the only thing I probably should mention about this is if you want to look for long form content, you should search between 4 minutes and 20 seconds duration, because mainly short form content pops up, but it's definitely worth checking out both. Even just making short form content, you should look at the long form videos because the same thing applies. It's just like finding a photo or a tweet or anything like that. You need to find viral content. Next up, I would say is X. You can use the same sort of method where you get your keywords and you search them in the search and see what pops up. You're not going to get great results there, but it's always worth trying to at least just come up with some sort of video ideas. I'd also recommend you check out the Explore page, the trending page. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Just try avoid the beheading videos and all that kind of stuff. But very similar to YouTube and TikTok, except it doesn't really have the filter options where you can kind of, narrow it down. Use at your own risk. Don't watch the beheading videos unless you're into that. That apparently is some people like. It's trending, it's viral. Okay. Now this part is going to go back to YouTube and TikTok and Twitter, but basically watching content in your niche is also a good idea because if something goes viral in your niche, you're going to see it on your For You page, your Explore page, YouTube's homepage, that's what that's called. So you want the algorithms recommending you all this viral content in the first place, so it makes your job 10 times easier. Now there's a reason I haven't mentioned Instagram yet, and that's because I actually have a little trick for you. So once you've got your account all to suggest, your kind of niche's content, fucking hell, I need a drink. So yeah, once you have it all suggesting the content you want to see, basically all you do is go on the Explore page, and if you're on a computer or like a laptop, you'll be able to get your mouse and then hover over each picture, post, video, doesn't matter, and you'll be able to see the like count. So you don't even have to look at the posts, you just have to make sure that you see the likes. And I'd recommend anything over 100k likes I would consider pretty viral, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's pretty much how you find viral content for 100% free. You're welcome. Now, the next part is probably the hardest part. It's transforming the content into your own because we aren't scummy. I'm going to say it again. I said it in the last video. I said it at the start of this video. I hope I said it in the start of this video. Did it make the cut? Who knows? Anyway, it's really not that hard, but people seem to fuck this up really badly. I made a checklist and we're going to make sure we get through that one. So you have two approaches. You can use it as a hook or you can make the whole video based around it. We'll go over the hook thing first because I know there's a few people who stream and they want to put their clips up or have businesses and they just want to get some sort of traction off of this video because they want to make some fucking money, man. Anyway, by using your piece of content, you can hook the viewers in and then pivot slightly to show what you're actually going to talk about. Now, I want to preface that you don't want to be too polar with this. I know there's a few bigger creators that will use something like someone falling over and they'll smack and then they'll use that as the hook. If you don't have enough authority, that won't translate. So make sure the viral piece of content is also similar to your actual content because otherwise you're basically just clickbaiting them. Like when you click on a YouTube video and the title and thumbnail say one thing and the video is about another thing. You don't want to give that bad taste in people's mouths. So the second part of this is building the whole video around this viral post. As I gave the example at the start, you can create an entire storytelling piece around the post, but there's also a few other ways you can do it. I have a list over here, so if you see me looking over here, is because I'm trying to, like, I'm trying to be more authentic here. Put my white t-shirt on, and we're kind of just going off the dome. As you can tell, this video is a bit more stupid. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna make money doing this. You're gonna make money! So, building the whole video around your viral concept. So you can deepen the story by basically researching this piece of content and then telling the story around it. It works for specific pieces, and honestly, it probably works for a lot if you just explain things. I know it might be quite obvious, but you'd be very surprised that people can't pick up these things, or they just want to be told. You can use the viral piece to open a discussion. You use the viral piece as the hook, and then you talk about your opinion on the discussion you're going to make. It's quite common for a lot of creators, though, stitch with a video and they'll watch and then they'll give an opinion. So that's one way people do it. You can use this to do theories and speculation. So this viral piece of content you can make theories about or speculate about. It's the same as kind of the whole discussion thing. The next one's quite common in the fitness niche, and it's kind of rude. I don't like it, but I do it myself sometimes, so can't be a hypocrite, right? Basically, it's an exposed piece. So you find your viral piece of content and you tell everyone why it's wrong or stupid. It's not very nice to promote, but it works. People love negativity. The next thing kind of also ties into the hook part is comparisons. You can use the viral piece of content to compare to another time or another situation. Taking a piece of content and referencing another time this situation or whatever's being used in the content happened, you can then make another piece of viral content. And then the final one is flip the perspective. Yeah, I'm going to talk in a lot of football terms here because that's my only public facing account at the moment, so we're going to talk about that one a lot. Basically, a viral piece of content may be a player getting angry or emotional or sad. By flipping their perspective, you can talk about what the opponent was thinking, what the fans were thinking, what the manager was thinking. And that is a completely new piece of content in itself, but is also tied to the viral concept. Great, that part is done. You now know how to transform a piece of content, but there is a lot of mistakes, and I've made them all. So listen to me, please. But I actually value you guys' time, so we're gonna make this one quicker and not to make the mistake of dragging out this video. See what I did there? So I already talked about just straight up copying someone's video and just reposting it. That's a fucking no-no. Okay, so then the second one is something I still do today, is misinterpreting why it went viral. When you're constantly searching through all these pieces, it can be quite taxing on your brain because you're looking at maybe 100 posts a day and you finally find some piece, but it's you've completely read it wrong. For example, again, another football term, if the post went viral for an emotional reason and then you misinterpret it as a skill-based reason, like the player's ability, and then you go and make your piece about the player's ability and don't focus on the emotional aspect of it, that's not going to go viral because it's not really related in any way, shape, or form. Next thing is also going back to the hooks. If you pivot too hard, it probably won't work. As I said earlier, a lot of big creators use very broad kind of hooks, whereas for most creators, it's not going to work like that unless you already have a few 100,000 followers. Number 4, I see a lot of people do this, and more viral content in one video doesn't mean you're going to go more viral. If anything, it's making your content worse. There's a reason the post went viral in the first place. So to add multiple viral pieces into one piece, that's a lot of pieces, man. Even you heard it audibly, it's a lot of pieces. You don't want to hear it. So going viral isn't just luck, it's using leverage. Viral posts are already proven. Use them to make your own videos go viral. And thank me later because, I don't know, cute or something.